Testing, 1, 2. 1, 2, testing. Hello, everybody. Guys, 2 minutes late. I'm telling you, one of these days, I will shock the heck out of you guys, and I will be here on time. I wish you could see my desk. It's an absolute mess. Not that I'm proud of that, I'm not. Just so you guys know. Guys, do me a favor. First of all, could you tell me in the comments below if this broadcast is clear? I have to center myself. This is something that people say to me all the time. They say, well, can you please center yourself so that we can see you clearly? Come in. Oh, come this way, Mama. This way? Yeah. Just put it there, please, right here. Just on top here. It's fine. Thank you. Please wait. Okay, just wait. Yeah. Thank you. I need to get that door fixed. I've been saying this for months, and I know you guys have been at the forefront trying to encourage me to put some oil in that, what do you call it, DW40 or something? What's the oil that you sort of squeeze in between the hinges? Because, you know, my door constantly squeaks and it annoys the heck out of me. I'm using a little honey for my tea. I'm trying to give up sugar, which is very difficult to do because hey, Bo, I see you. On occasion, I drink Coca-Cola. I know it seems like I drink Coke every day, which I don't. Okay, because I know some of you have this idea that I drink Coca-Cola every single day. I do not. Okay, it's not as often as you think. So just give me a moment here, and please do me a favor, guys. If you could share this live, just go on the tube there and sort of ask people that you think would be teabag interested in this conversation, and we can sit here and have a chat. What do you think of my tie? Does this work or no? Tell me. Is the tie going with the shirt? Tell me. I'm trying as hard as I can to be a dapper looking man. 2025, I've made a resolution. 2025, I am going to strictly, every time you see me, I'm going to do suits, ties, and shirts. The only time you'll see me in a reflector, I know I've said this before, I know, give me a break, is when I'm on the street. But when I do my podcast thing, when I have guests in here, it'll just I'm trying to button my shirt. The other day I was doing this, you know, I'm trying to button this shirt, I'm trying to button this. The other day I was doing that, and somebody in the comments said, are you trying to show off your watch? No, I'm just trying to button my shirt. I'm trying to look smart for you. Guys, I keep telling you, you don't know what it's like being me out here for you. It is an up and down, pride swallowing siege that I will never fully tell you about. Okay? So just relax. We've got a couple of things. Let's start my bundles, Yasila. Well, you just need to stock up on bundles. That's what you need to do. Okay? You need to, I mean, if you're going to be with us, for goodness sake, you know, get the bundles. Last night, I was on here, and right in the middle of my broadcast, the power just got cut off. And it was very embarrassing. So I'd like to pick up from where I left off last night. We were talking, there are four things I'd like to talk to you about. The very first one is JJ Banda's imminent return. Now, the word imminent means it will happen. Whether today, tomorrow, the following day, next week, next month, next year, JJ Banda's imminent return is stark. Okay, it'll happen. And I know that JJ Banda's issue has been very controversial only because there are key players that have made JJ Banda significant when the truth is he is not significant. JJ Banda in and of himself has no intrinsic value. The only reason he's being used as a pawn is because people like Edgar Lungu, Munir Zulu, Edith Nwakwe have decided to use JJ Banda to achieve their goal in trying to divide and drive a wedge between the Zambian people. And this is their MO. This is their modus operandi. Edgar Lungu is so desperate for power that he is willing to use JJ Banda to achieve his goal, to use him. And I must tell you, and I've said this before, when the PF learned that JJ Banda was alive, this was after it was announced that he was missing. You remember, Lungu went to Ibex Hill with Munir and all these other characters, and they insisted. They said, no, we know that you are holding JJ Banda there. Release him. We want to see him. And in any case, what country do you know, if indeed the police had him, and the police made it clear at that time, they didn't have him. He was not in their custody. JJ Banda was not even on the precinct when Walungu went to Ibex to say, no, we know he's in there, release him. He wasn't there. He had disappeared. And I've told you the reason JJ Banda disappeared, and this is the truth. The truth is, JJ Banda knew that the noose was tightening around his neck, the law was on his heels, and so he contemplated suicide. He was thinking of killing himself. Then he changed his mind. He said, no, I don't want to go that way. After 2 days, he resurfaced. Now, in the 2 days that he disappeared, all types of conspiracy theories, all types of machinations were being spewed by Lungu and company, trying to convince the Zambian people that there was some type of underhanded skullduggery that the state was involved in, when in fact, none of that was true. It was just a case where this guy decided to change his mind. He was going to kill himself, then he changed his mind, he resurfaced, and when he resurfaced, I must tell you, the PF were very disappointed. They were disappointed because they knew that had JJ Banda been brought dead, had JJ Banda been discovered dead, had JJ Banda been discovered unalived, my goodness, PF, they would have gone on the highest mountaintop and they would have screamed, the state has killed Banda. Here's his body. He lays in a sewer pen, blood gushing out of his mouth. His head is wide open, split open. They shot him in the back. Oh, he's dead. The state killed JJ Banda. Walungu would have been singing that song from 6 to 6. But here it is. He showed up alive. And when he showed up alive, you noticed the machinations stopped. The PF stopped talking as much because their conspiracy theories ran out. They came up with all types of stuff. So anyway, JJ Banda he resurfaced, and when he resurfaced, the number one thing was to secure him so that he can be interviewed, to find out, to ascertain, to determine what happened to you, Jay. Where were you? And the only reason he had to be questioned was because Walungu had made him a factor. Had Walungu not been involved, Had it just been announced that no, JJ Naluba, we don't know where he is, and then 2 days later, kuti no twampeza unyamata, nobody would have said anything. But it's because Valungu injected that poisonous nectar of opposition, skullduggery politics. That is the reason we're in the position we're in now, is because of politics. Valungu and his team have politicized JJ Banda's issue. So when Banda was secured by the police and medical personnel, that became an issue. No, but if you know. And yet, when a person goes missing like that, a person that was standing on the precipice of being used as a tool to divide this nation, when that person is found, the only people that are supposed to be talking to him are the police. Not Valungu, not Uka, not Tonse, not these chaps. Let me turn off my phone. None of these chaps are the ones who are supposed to be talking about. It's the police, the authorities. UKA is not an investigative law enforcement agency. But EDGAR Lungu is not a law enforcement agent. Don't say those chaps are not law enforcement. It is law enforcement who speaks to Banda. When he was secure, then another conspiracy theory came out. No, well, if he must confess. Banda himself was trying to negotiate a plea deal, a plea bargain with the state. He was trying to negotiate. He was trying to say, look, you take care of me, I'll take care of you. That fell apart when he escaped. When he escaped, another conspiracy theory came out. No, it's the states. They've snuck him out so that they can take him somewhere to kill him. Guys, I want to talk to you for a few moments because we have a brand new phenomenon in this country, and it has to do with the internet Facebook propaganda that is being spewed by many different platforms. In the past, before social media, all of us heavily relied on the state media, ZNBC, some of the publications, newspaper publications. In the 90s, that changed when the Post came into play. Fred Membe's Post became an alternative voice that we were listening to. In those days, to get the news, you had to wait a day. You had to literally get up in the morning, go down the street, buy a newspaper, and start perusing and reading the paper. Things have changed now. Everything is instant. With the advent of social media, everything is instant. Now, with social media, has come a lot of baggage that we as a people have to sift through. I want to teach you today, in this day and age, how to deal with Facebook propaganda that's being spewed by many different platforms that makes it very difficult for you, the average simple-minded person, to decipher, to clear the noise, and to distinguish fact from fiction. It's very difficult to do in this day and age because, everybody has access. As long as you have a phone, you have access to all types of different platforms. So I want to teach you for a few moments. I'm going to give you 3 points, 2 or 3 points. First thing, critical thinking and fact checking. That is almost non-existent in Zambia. How many people fact check? When you see something on your screen, some of you don't even question it. You just believe it hook, line, and sinker. Hook, line, and sinker. You believe everything. Guys, question your source. Question the source of your information. Not everything you see is factual. Michael Jackson used to say, Just because you read it in a magazine or see it on a TV screen, it doesn't mean it's factual. You have to fact check. And that onus is on you. That is your responsibility. Number one, you have to determine what platforms are credible sources of information. If you're watching the wrong platforms, and we all know who they are, if you're looking at these chaps who just decide to switch on a phone and they have a Facebook live, if you're listening to the wrong guy or wrong girl, they will feed you garbage. Garbage in, garbage out. Garbage in, garbage out. There are some of you, you are so used to listening to the wrong people that you don't know what's fact and fiction. You're lost in the wilderness, mate. So that's number one. Now, you must also understand and recognize propaganda techniques. There are propaganda techniques out there that are used by people like Emmanuel Mwamba and all these chaps, Chishimba, all these guys. They use these propaganda techniques like emotional appeals. When they say to you, no, this person that the state has arrested, they shouldn't have arrested them, they're just a person. Instead of focusing on the law that has been broken, you've now shifted the conversation and you're talking about how unfortunate this person is. And you are appealing to the emotional, are constantly listening to fake news, misinformation. The last point you must... Come on, connection. Sorry, we lost connection there. The last point, and this is very important, limit your engagement with questionable sources of information. There are some of you, all you do is listen to the wrong guys that have an axe to grind. That's all you listen to. Limit that. Limit that, guys. Come on. The other thing I want to talk to you about is what was the next thing? Tell me in the comments. What was it? It was my court case. My court case. I need to share this with you because I went through this yesterday. Some of you are going to be interested to know. You remember several months ago, I was convicted of malicious damage. I was accused of slashing tires, and I was taken to court, and I didn't even hire a lawyer because I thought it was an open shut case. And I went to court. I was found guilty of malicious damage, and I was sentenced to 6 months in prison. The magistrate that sentenced me, one of the things that he said was that given your standing in the community, I want to make an example out of you. So I'm going to give you, I should give you 2 years, but I'm going to give you six months. And I remember sitting in the thing, where you sit or stand as the judge passes judgment. Distinctly, I remember that day because I really thought, worst comes to worst, if I lose this case, I might be given a fine, and if I am, I won't be happy with that, but it's going to be what it's going to be. Never in a million years did I ever envision going to prison for anything. And it just so happened in the box, that's right. The judge said, well, Mr. Mwewa, I will therefore sentence you to 6 months in prison. Now, when he said that to me, honestly, really, and I don't mean to sound facetious or to sound comical, but in my mind, I remember thinking, I've got a meeting at 2 o'clock today. I can't go to prison for 6 months. What is he talking about? 6 months? Sir, I gotta be somewhere at 2 o'clock. And you're telling me about 6 months? And in that moment, it was like a fog. And I remember thinking, what is this? So, they did all the formalities, and then the police officer walked up to me, and he was very kind to me. He said, Mr. Mwewa, the journalists outside the courtroom, they are looking for pictures. They want to photograph you in handcuffs so that we parade you in front of the media, and we shall take you to the Kasaranga so that we transport you to your destination. But Mr. Mwewa, we're not going to do that. We are not going to feed the press with you being paraded in handcuffs. So what we shall do, Mr. Mwewa, there is a tunnel underneath this court. It will lead us to the other side of the building. You won't even see the press. Now, I was happy. I was fine with him saying that. But what was first and foremost on my mind was, I'm going to miss the meeting, and my wife is going to be furious. Furious. I thought, oh my goodness, I got to tell my wife I'm going to prison for 6 months. And because I've never been to prison for anything, and I've never been sentenced ever. And so because you're ignorant, you don't know what's going to happen. I was thinking, I'm not going to see my family for 6 months. So, the police officer leads me down the tunnel, and we're walking down this tunnel. Sorry about that. Imagine with me a long, dark tunnel. Endless. I couldn't see the end of it. It seemed eternal. And the officers in front of me were walking, and then finally I said to the officer, I said, where are we going? The officer looked at me and said, Mr. Mwewa, you are going to prison. Where do you think you're going? And in that moment, it hit me. I thought, oh, my life is over. So anyway, and you know the story. My lawyers, and big shout out to J&M Associates. Thank you for everything that you guys have done. You are amazing. Yes, you're lawyers, but you are amazing. And so we filed in an appeal, and I was released on bail, pending appeal. Is that how you say that? And it's been, how long has it been? 5 or 6 months. So finally, November the 22nd, let me get it right. Is it November the 22nd? Yeah, it was November the 22nd. What was the day yesterday? What was that? What was yesterday? Friday. What was yesterday? Tell me in the comments. I don't want to get the day wrong, because on Facebook everybody just starts to ride you. That's the wrong date. So tell me in the comments what was the date yesterday? Tell me. You need to tell me the date, guys. Yes, 22nd of November was yesterday. So finally, I got a notice a few weeks ago that November the 22nd is Judgment Day over there at the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court will tell you about your appeal. So I went there, and with my lawyers, J&M Associates, and they called my case, and I sat there, and I was very nervous. Because, with judges, you never know. I mean, you never know. You could think that, you've filed in a very good argument and you find out very quickly that everything just goes south. Well, the judge read the judgment. He went through it, and I don't know if this is something judges do deliberately. Sometimes when they read the judgment, there's a portion of the reading, it sounds like they're going to go with you. And then at some point, it sounds like, oh, they're going to throw you underneath the bus. And at one moment, there was a particular moment, he was reading the judgment. I forget what phrase he used. In my mind, I was thinking, oh my goodness, I'm going back to prison. I'm going back to prison. This is it. I'm going to go through this again. And then, the story is when you appeal and your appeal is not successful, you do more time or something like that. And so that was first and foremost on my mind. I wasn't sure. So finally, the judge got to the bottom of the judgment and he said, I'm going to fine you. You're going to be fined. You don't have to serve time. Wow. I must tell you, it's in moments like that that you really value your freedom. I mean, what is the price of freedom? What would you pay for freedom? And those are the questions that go through your mind. What is the price of freedom? Freedom is so valuable. It's unquantifiable. There is no price to it, And so the court has asked me to pay the fine, and it's a fair fine, And but the great thing is that I don't have to go to prison. So I know there's some of you guys here that you wanted to see me go back to prison. I know that. I know you. I know, and that's fine. I mean, that's not a problem. If that's what you wanted, I'm sorry you didn't get what you wanted, but that's just life, sometimes. So that was it. What's the third thing? What am I talking about? Tell me in the comments. What am I talking about? What was the third thing? Tell me. I'm going to sit here till you tell me. Somebody says, congratulations, Ambassador. Yeah, it's better than jail sentence. How much did you pay? Oh, I'm not telling you that. It was a fair amount. It's not bad. It was fair. The judge was fair. Mutale Mwanza, that's right. Mutale Mwanza has found herself in a bit of a pickle, and I feel that we as social media personalities are called to a higher calling. Now, all of us are guilty of this. I've been guilty of this. I've said things out of turn. But guys, you must understand that the social media space in Zambia has evolved, and we have to evolve with it. You must understand that. Let me say that again, because I think that's important. The social media space in Zambia has evolved. Therefore, we must evolve with it. Gone are the days where you can just say anything you want and there not be any consequences. I was very annoyed. Who is this boy, Elias, offering solidarity to Mutale Mwanza? Kuti, the same charge that Mutale has is the same charge I have. Where are these charges coming from? Elias, you are in no moral position to say anything. You need to keep your big mouth shut. You're in enough trouble as it is already. and you're on here Facebook showboating and talking nonsense, keep your mouth shut. Capiche? That's all I'm going to say about that. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. God bless.